Welcome back to the Why So Series podcast. We are back on our road to Infinity War. Today we are recapping or revisiting Captain America the Winter Soldier, second installment in the Captain America solo series. As Steve Rogers struggles to embrace his role in the modern world, he teams up with a fellow Avenger and S.H.I.E.L.D. agent Black Widow to battle a new threat from history, an assassin known as the Winter Soldier. I guess we'll start with Big Mike. Did you see this movie when it came out at the time? And if not, how do you like it for this time, and what do you think about the film?
I don't think I did see it when it first came out. I think the first time I saw it was about a year and a half ago, I want to say. But even then, right away, I knew that this was probably one of the better ones that I've seen, especially at the time. But seeing it this time definitely was a really nice refresher and reminded me again how much I like this movie. Definitely in the top 5 of my favorite movies in this universe. I thought it was really well made, really well written. The acting in it was really good, and it was just overall a solid movie.
Not Mike. Devin, what did you think?
Shit was amazing when I first saw it in the theater. I was just thinking, like, this is better. This isn't even a superhero movie. This is a fucking thriller.
Yeah, spy thriller.
With suspense. Yeah, this shit was everything. And we got to see Nick Fury. I was just happy to see Nick Fury, like, be badass and that fucking, in his whole little scene when he was driving the car and they were trying to get him. That shit was just epic. And I love the whole story, man. Like, and Cap just trying to get his boy, yo. Bucky, man, it's me, yo. And to see their relationship, because I've always knew the Bucky, Steve Rogers thing existed or whatever. I've seen it played out in cartoons, but never this way. You know, the time you see when Red Skull's sending a rocket up and Bucky's leg is caught and shit like that, you see that. But this one is real, and you actually feel some attachment to it. And the story is great because you have the whole espionage background with a whole Captain America, and then you're getting Falcon, and it's like it's just one of the best. It's my top 3. It's in my top 3.
Mike?
Yeah, I agree. This movie is phenomenal. I saw it in theaters, and I think after I saw it in theaters, it was huge. It was also around the time during Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.'s first season.
You're breaking up.
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
This movie came out. Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. had been out. It was in its first season, and it was nearing the end. And I remember I wasn't too into Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. until around this part in the movie, or like in the show where they did the Hydra thing, and there was a huge twist, and I was freaking out. And this movie was fantastic, and S.H.I.E.L.D. was fantastic, and this movie put me on this long Marvel high, and it was just so great. It was well written. It was entertaining. The action was amazing. I also said this back, I think, in the first Captain America that we did, but I didn't actually know. I didn't read any Captain America before this movie, and I did not know who the Winter Soldier was for the first time ever. Because usually I know like everything before it happens with these movies. The first time ever, I was genuinely surprised because I didn't know.
You keep going in and out. Is everything cool over there?
It should be, yeah.
All right, there. You're much better. You just do whatever you just did.
I just leaned forward.
Much better. So, this film was my favorite Marvel film at the time when it came out. It was number 1
Definitely
on my list. It has been surpassed, but it's still a top 5 film. The next film we're doing after this, which we'll talk about at the end, became my favorite. And then the next Captain America film, and then Black Panther, of course. But this is definitely my I can rank it. This is my 4th favorite Marvel film. I love it. I love every second of it. The chemistry between Chris Evans and Scarlett Johansson is great. Even though Anthony Mackie is trash, I like seeing Falcon get introduced in the movies. I like how they used a villain, but he's not a villain with Bucky, but still made S.H.I.E.L.D. be the villain which is kind of this meta thing because Shield has always been kind of fucked up, even though they've done good things. Like Mike said, Agents of Shield is my favorite TV show, and this really set Agents of Shield off to make it like to me the best superhero TV show there is now. This was kind of the catalyst of changing that because the first half of Agents of Shield season 1 was kind of boring. This film is just like Devin said. It's not a superhero film. It's basically a spy thriller. It's like a Bond. It's like a Mission Impossible Bond type film with superheroes, and it's fucking amazing. I guess we'll start with in the beginning. Did you guys think when you first saw this? Did you think that they were trying to like hook Cap and Black Widow up?
Kind of.
I at first, but I realized what it is by seeing all the other movies, knowing that Cap just needed a friend and something to relate to, and then she definitely was just trying to be a wingman and hook him up with everybody so he could get back to a sense of normalcy to his life, like to date women and shit like that. So I got it more so than I saw it as a hookup.
Anybody else?
I feel like when this came out, I think I remember it was either when this came out or when Ultron came out. People were mad because they kind of hoard her around to all the Avengers, or they kind of gave the impression that she could be with Hawkeye in Avengers, Tony and Iron Man 2, Hulk in Age of Ultron, Captain America in The Winter Soldier. Like, I don't know if you guys got that, and I don't know if I even got that. A lot of people were upset about that, and I feel like I definitely thought that they could have gotten it.
Well, I think that she's just fine as fuck, so everybody just looks at her, and then she's like, I know I'm fine, so I'm going to use that to get my point across to all these men that'll help me. So, like, and with Cap, because here's the thing with Cap. I thought they were trying to make you think that, but I never thought that because Cap is too good for Black Widow. And when I say too good, I don't mean like he's a good dude and she's a horrible woman. I mean like he's too like righteous to be with the Black Widow. Like Cap is overbearing with his righteousness, and you see it a lot in this film. He's like such like a Boy Scout that like I couldn't even picture him dating like a double agent spy like the Black Widow. So at that point, I just was like, oh, she's trying to get him back. She's trying to get him to a place where he needs to be, and that's what she did. And I thought that was great. So the film almost starts out with some action, and you see like Cap just dive out of the plane with no parachute. I was like, this guy's fucking badass. But then that reminded me that the best thing I've ever seen on Marvel with somebody diving out of a plane was Coulson on Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. You remember that, Mike? When he dove out of the plane with no parachute and jumped into that portal?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, that was good. Oh, man.
That was
Coulson's always been a badass.
So
one of my favorite MCU characters.
That definitely reminded me of Coulson seeing that. Big Mike, what did you think of the opening fight scene on the ship?
I thought it was great. I think it really kind of set the tone for what the movie was going to be about. Like it wasn't going to be like a war movie like we saw last time with the original Captain America. It was going to be like that kind of he's more of a secret agent kind of thriller movie. I thought it was like the stuff that he can do is amazing. Obviously, he's Captain America, and even like just kind of got a better sense of like he can do it all. Like the close combat stuff, like just how smart he is with his shield and all of his fighting techniques. I thought was pretty sweet.
Devin,
I just love the way they executed the close combat and the whole stuff of the mission, and they wasn't too superhero-y. It was all stealth. He took him down real quiet. He used his muscles. My only problem with any of these movies is like they don't show Cap's strength unless he kicks you. Like
yeah, I was about to say that. Listen,
that shit makes me mad. So every one of his kicks were fucking like powerful as shit.
He kicks the
Yeah,
fuck out of
when he
people.
throws the shield.
I mean,
That shield sticks into concrete walls.
yeah, but
when
the
he
shield's
throws.
also made of vibranium. So I think what you're supposed to take from that is that his shield can like penetrate shit if it hits
Yeah,
it
but
right.
if it absorbs impact and he throws it at a wall, then he's got to throw it really hard for it to go in that wall.
I mean, that's true.
What we're saying, like his punches don't hurt people, but his kicks are fucking sending people through walls. That's what we're saying.
Listen, Mike, are you all caught up on Arrow?
I think I'm one behind.
Oh my god. Okay. When you watch the next episode of Arrow, it's this it's this fucking part. I've
Is
had
this
to
the one where
rewind.
where the Canary and Oliver fight
Yeah.
in the pro? Yeah, I didn't see that one.
I
That's
had
the
to.
only one
I probably rewinded it like 7 times because fucking Renee, who deserved to get his fucking ass kicked, finally stepped up to Oliver, and fucking Oliver gave him a Captain America kick and kicked him into the fucking tree and like almost broke every bone in his body. He like flew into the tree. It's like the funniest shit I've ever seen on Arrow, and that's exactly what I had to rewind this scene with Cap kicking that dude like 3 times because he kicked the shit out of him. It was so fucking funny. I also thought the shield work in this scene was really good. Like he was throwing the shield at all ridiculous types of. That is the most fantastical thing about Captain America is his fucking shield. He be throwing it on like
His
angles
geometry with the shield
and bouncing and shit. I'm like, I ain't never seen Cap learn this shit. He was just a fucking soldier. Nobody told me he was a mathematician or an engineer or a physicist, and he understands how this shit works. He throws it off angles, around corners. Like, how does he do that shit? But I love it, but I still don't understand how he does it.
Yeah, I also was just I love George St. Pierre. He needs to be an action star. Like fuck UFC, yo. Like he's really good. I know he can't really speak good English, but still, he was fucking phenomenal in the
I mean,
fight.
he's a
with,
badass. He played a good badass.
Yeah.
So, Mike, why don't you give a brief overview about the plot of the film?
So the plot of the film, I guess it kind of revolves around the quote-unquote death of Nick Fury and the fall of S.H.I.E.L.D. Basically, S.H.I.E.L.D.'s been compromised, and Captain America does not know who he can trust, including Black Widow, though he eventually does trust her. And once they establish that they're friendlies, they team up and sort of try to investigate how S.H.I.E.L.D. has been compromised and what the damage exactly is. And then they eventually find out that it's been compromised so bad by Hydra over all these years that they don't know. There's too many bad people in S.H.I.E.L.D. and they just got to take it. They got to stop it somehow. And while all this is going on, Hydra has been ready to start their plan to eliminate threats before they happen, or threats to Hydra, not like threat in general term. And so they have 3 helicarriers they're planning to launch.
Called Project Insight.
Project Insight, and those helicarriers are.
You keep going in and out. Are you moving back and forth away from the mic?
No, I'm just sitting here.
Oh. So, yeah, that makes me... That's why I'll ask everybody this. So, did you guys think Cap... So, I wrote down Cap is so damn noble. So, before anything went bad, like the first time you see this, when they're explaining Project Insight, did you think Cap would... When Fury was explaining it to him, when he took him down and showed him the helicarriers and all that, before you knew all the bad shit that had happened, did you think Cap was right or did you think he was wrong?
He's definitely right.
Yeah, I think that kind of whole statement that he made about, like, is it really freedom if, like, you're being watched all of the time is, like, the epitome of Captain America. Like, all he wants to do is make sure everyone on Earth is, like, taken care of, but, like, still maintains their freedom. Like, he just thinks everyone deserves the best and deserves to be free, and, like, no matter what the cost, like, even if that cost is not being protected, if that makes any sense.
Mm-hmm.
No, I totally get what you're saying. But, yeah, definitely. You're not free if you're under the tyranny of your government. And literally, he's a soldier. He literally fought for that. So there's no way he would go for that shit, even if the country he fought for is doing that, you know? So I got it 100%. And then, like, yeah, when the shit goes bad, I mean, anytime, like, you think about something hovering over you, that's the eye in the sky. Like, we always want to weaponize some shit anyway. So you definitely got to think that shit. And Captain America knows that. He knows that the U.S. government is always going to weaponize something. Always.
Yeah. I agree, but I thought Fury had some good points. He at one point he said, "Last time I trusted somebody, I lost an eye." Thought that was such a great line.
That was so good. Yeah.
But he was basically making the point that, like, I don't trust these people. This is what we got to do. We don't trust people. But I still fell on the side of Cap ultimately. This film also did a good job. We already talked about Agent of S.H.I.E.L.D., but it also set up Agent Carter. It talked a lot about it showed you like the beginnings of S.H.I.E.L.D. and the SSR. They went to the old SSR location, which is where a lot of the show Agent Carter takes place. They showed her picture on the walls, like when the founding members of S.H.I.E.L.D. They showed Cap going to talk to her when she was older, and I think they did a good job of giving her some shine because they knew they were going to do a TV show with her, which I love the TV show, by the way. Agent Carter was definitely dope as shit, and I fucking love Haley Atwell.
Never seen the episode. Never seen the episode.
Well, you should have. It was fucking great. Maybe if you'd have watched the episode, it'd still be on. How about that?
Yep. Well.
And then I wrote, can you imagine Captain America fighting in the UFC? Because somehow he was doing fucking takedowns and all types of shit. And I'm just like, how does he know all this shit? Like, does he just spend all his time
training? He's a super soldier, Brandon. He's a super soldier that is dedicated.
A super soldier doesn't mean you learn technique. The serum didn't give you technique.
Yo, are you really gonna say Steve Rogers doesn't put all that work in and he don't know how to do all this shit? Does he always not say, let's train, we should do tactical strategies and shit like that?
Who trained him?
He's always doing that shit.
Anderson Silva trained him? Who the fuck trained him? Somebody had to train him. He ain't learned that shit on his own.
I mean, he's standing in the Avengers Tower with Tony.
Tony don't know no fucking UFC moves.
But Tony got the technology to teach him that shit.
Fuck no. No. This is what happened.
Somebody with Happy in the boxing ring.
Somebody from S.H.I.E.L.D. called up Dana White, and they was like, look, you need to get somebody from the UFC over here to teach Cap. He already got super strength and shit. If you teach him how to fight, nobody will be able to fuck with him. And they probably paid the UFC a shitload of money, and they sent Anderson Silva or somebody over there to teach him how to fight. That's what happened. He was doing arm bars. He was doing all types of fucking jiu-jitsu moves and shit.
Yo, they teach that shit in the military, bro.
I don't think they teach it like that. They don't teach it like that.
They do.
If they taught it like that, then the UFC would be filled with former soldiers. Yeah, see?
I think they got PTSD.
You didn't notice that, Mike? You didn't notice Cap's moves?
No, I mean, he has some moves. He was brutal. I thought the action was brutal, which was fine with me. Yeah, I was fine with it. I don't know how. I mean, they didn't explain it, whatever. I mean, there's going to be a few minor plot holes like that, I guess.
No, I'm not saying they didn't explain. I didn't say it was a plot hole. I was making a joke.
Not a plot hole.
Yeah, you missing it.
He's fucking badass.
He's badass. I'm saying he's fucking badass.
You want to know a plot hole? All that motorcycle shit, like
what motorcycle shit?
Like that motorcycle, like when he jumped the fucking when they was shooting at the end.
Oh yeah, that was
shit.
So phony. Oh yeah, that's true.
No, when he left S.H.I.E.L.D. the first time and then the second time, yeah, both fucking motorcycle shit was fucking ridiculous.
What?
The fact that he threw the fucking shield at the Quinjet, fucking ripped the Quinjet apart pretty much with the shield, and then still had time to land on the motorcycle?
Oh,
like,
what? Mike and Big Mike, what did you think about how they introduced Sam Wilson in the first scene where Cap's just like lapping him over and over again?
Oh, that was funny. That was fun. I actually don't know why you don't like Anthony Mackie. I mean,
no, I don't like Anthony Mackie the person, not the actor.
Why?
Because he does a lot of like anti-black bullshit that I don't fuck with.
yeah.
A lot of respectability politics shit. He's just kind of a fucked up person. But as an actor, I like him. I fuck with him a lot.
Oh yeah,
She Hate Me is a good movie. Yeah, She Hate Me is a good movie. Yeah.
I like him as a character. He was great. I just didn't know why you didn't like him.
Big Mike, what'd you think?
Yeah, I agree. I liked him a lot. That's why I was kind of confused when you said in the beginning of the podcast that you didn't like him. I'm like, I thought he was a great addition to to the franchise. Like I like the character a lot. I think they did a really good job, kind of like introducing like a not necessarily a normal like veteran, but kind of introducing like those veteran type problems. That's like a huge problem in this country, where it's just like the dude was a pilot, quote unquote. Obviously, they show what kind of a pilot he was later, but they kind of introduce him as just like a regular pilot who he saw some shit overseas, and
lost a good friend
a little bit.
And lost a good friend, and
yeah, and then he kind of dedicated the rest of his life to helping other people get over the same stuff that he went through, which I thought was really cool to show like a kind of like an everyday normal guy kind of approach to a superhero, which was nice, which is kind of what the whole Captain America brand is, aside from the super serum. But I like the character a lot, and I think he played him really well.
Yeah, so here's the thing. I loved how they did it. I loved his acting in the film, and I love that they retconned and changed his origin story and his background, because the real Falcon background in the comic books is kind of fucking racist.
Racist
so
as shit.
I kind of like how they did this, and it was actually done very well. So basically, in the comic books, he was known as Snap Wilson. Snap Wilson, he was a criminal and a gang member. And he's basically like this thug and mob boss who like run around and kill people in his own community and sold drugs, and the stereotypical like black inner city person. And then basically when he was on his way to Rio de Janeiro for quote unquote a big score, his plane crashed, and he was in this island that had been taken over by the Red Skull, and Captain America came to fight the Red Skull, and they saved him. And basically that's how him and Cap met. And then Cap kept trying to help him, and basically like at one point Cap was like, this is my guy, and he wanted to join the Avengers, and the Avengers were like, fuck no, you're a fucking criminal, we don't want you on the Avengers. And he didn't get in the first time, and had to prove himself to be worthy of the Avengers. It was all like this fucked up thing. So I'm really glad that they changed it and made him like a military guy. He was a quote-unquote pilot, and he was back doing things with veterans to try to help them get back on their feet. So I thought that was all done very, very well, especially given his comic book origins. And Marvel usually stays with the comic book origins, but I'm glad they made this change in the film. I think it was for the better. And even now in the comic books, they kind of explain in the recent storyline that the whole Snap Wilson thing was kind of made up by by Red Skull rewriting history with the Cosmic Cube. So that was kind of cool too. But they don't ignore that it happened, which was good. So then the next big action piece set comes, and Big Mike, we'll go to you. What do you think about Fury on the streets of Washington D.C.?
I thought that scene was crazy. I definitely didn't see it coming. Like, I mean, you kind of had a feeling that something was up, but like when all that shit was going down, like my jaw was dropped the whole time. Like, I thought it was so cool. I love the use of like the crazy futuristic technology in the car. I just thought like, I'm still surprised that he survived that whole thing, even especially after he got shot by Bucky later on. But Nick Fury's a badass. Still wish he said motherfucker, but that was prime motherfucker moment right there. Like,
it really was.
Like ramming all those like fake cops. It was like, you stupid motherfucker. Like that would have made the whole scene a whole lot better. But I guess I'll take what I can get.
Still a Disney movie.
Devin,
Still watching a Disney movie.
Devin, what'd you get? What'd you think?
I think they threw me off because I just thought they were just trying to give me a joke with the cops. Like when he hit the head nod, what you want? Like, oh, like you want to see my registration? Like, I just thought it was a fucking, one-liner and we're going to keep moving. And then he's like, you see him go to the intersection and get smacked. That shit went bananas. And then just all the technology in the car, and then for him to escape the way he did with the laser into the fucking bottom of the fucking car, shit was just fucking bananas, and just all the protocols the car had, and for him to be so badass with the gun and not like he didn't take any bullets. Like he got fucked up, but he didn't take any bullets when he was in the car. Yeah, that shit's crazy. It was just a great scene. They're driving through the city, and these people are just letting loose, trying to kill Sam Jackson, trying to kill Fury and shit. Like it was crazy. Like it's DC too. Like so. Like that can't happen. Like you know, what I mean, like, but for this moment in time, it was over the top. It was great action and adrenaline rush, and I enjoyed it.
Mike, what about you?
Yeah, I really can't say anything that was already said because I agree with everything that both of them have said already. The scene was phenomenal. Still found a way to insert a little bit of humor in there with the voice assistant. What is working on the air conditioning is fully operational, things like that. So it was a great scene overall. I feel like it was funny. I didn't think he was going to make it once Bucky showed up. Huge part.
You're breaking up again, Mike.
Yeah, I'm here. I said what I had to say.
Yeah. I mean, I thought this was the most necessary scene in the whole film because throughout all the Marvel movies, you're watching it and you're going, why is this man the head of S.H.I.E.L.D.? Why is S.H.I.E.L.D. is this badass spy organization. How the fuck did this guy get it at the head of this? This old black man with one eye. What the fuck happened to his eye? How did he get here? Like, why is he such a revered person, and why is everybody scared of him but also respect him? And this film basically told you why Nick Fury is fucking Nick Fury. He's a fucking badass, and he fucks up everybody, and he can get out of any situation. He has ridiculous amounts of tech. He's prepared for every situation. He was basically Batman in this scene. He had a fucking gadget for every situation. He was ready for it, and he even had an escape plan that nobody saw coming. I thought this was the best scene in the film, the most necessary scene in the film, and I loved it, every second of it. Excuse me. Let me see. Did you guys, so not thinking after you watched the film and not thinking about your second time seeing the film, but the first time you saw this film, did you guys think that Fury was actually dead when he got shot in his house?
For sure.
No.
I did.
I did too. They sold it really good.
I just felt like it's Nick Fury, and when Nick Fury was white, he would do crazy shit like this as well. So I just felt like Nick Fury would find a way to get past this. But I didn't know he did it just to make sure they weren't looking for him anymore.
That's how fucking badass he is.
The way they sold it was really good. I wasn't expecting that.
Yeah, they sold it really good. Black Widow and fucking Cap selling it. Black Widow basically crying. You don't never see Black Widow show any emotion like that. She's just emotional. They sold that shit really good. What did you guys think about the elevator scene?
That shit was really good, yeah.
He basically walks in and he goes,
the shit
what did he say?
It,
he said,
before we get started, does anyone want to get off?
Yeah.
But no, the shit was crazy because at first he didn't know, and then when he realized what the fuck is happening, because you see him being he's situational awareness, yo, why is this dude sweating? Why is this dude got his hand on his gun? This is what's gonna happen. I thought I was gonna walk out of here and shit, but this is not a regular elevator ride. Somebody's getting fucked up today. I loved it.
Mike, what'd you think?
And that one Jean-Claude Van Damme security guy is fucking. I felt like Cap should have fucked him up, but he kept living and didn't get fucked up bad enough.
You talking about Crossbones? Even though Cap
broke his arm and shit, but
Frank Grillo, whatever his name is.
Oh,
yeah, he turns into Crossbones.
Yeah, he's gonna be.
He's in Age of Ultron. No.
Oh yeah.
What? No, he's in
Civil War. My bad. Yeah, that's what I meant. He's in Civil War. Mike, what did you think about that scene?
Again, great scene. It was funny. Kicked the crap out of everybody. Jumped out of the elevator several stories high. Lands on a shield. Nothing happens. I loved it.
Yeah. Also, That is so ridiculous. It's like it was like 15 highly trained,
He not hurt.
highly
he got
skilled
regenerative powers.
motherfuckers.
The sword, it absorbs all the impact.
Yeah, but he only got hit like twice the
Doesn't
entire
matter.
time.
He's going 100 miles an hour to 0 real quick. That's
That's
you're gonna
true.
locate something at least.
That's all I'm saying.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not saying like
His shoulders
he
fucked.
just hit the shield. Like his leg, his ankle should have shattered. Yeah, his ankle should have shattered. Like
Something. I mean, the shield does
something is fucked up.
absorb
He's not just
everything,
getting
but
away and
look,
run away like
that
Like,
shield's not big
yeah.
enough to absorb his big ass body. Yo, Chris Evans is like 6'3". That's a big motherfucker.
That's what I'm saying. His hip, like
Something.
his hip or something, his knee, something hit the ground, yo.
Yeah, I love that fucking
And my
scene.
man jumped up like a jackrabbit. He was like, "Poof, I'm good."
So then you get Devin scene. So this was my only flaw in the film. Is I just thought this scene was so ridiculously implausible. So he gets out the elevator, he jumps all the way to the ground, and then they cut to like the control room, and the dude's like, I think he's going to the garage. So let me get this straight. So Cap had time to go all the way to the garage, hop on his motorcycle, and then ride out the garage without anybody getting there. You know how long that would take? He was outside. And then he gets on his motorcycle, and he's riding a motorcycle, and there's a fucking helicopter, a Quinjet, shooting at him. Mind you, these aren't just fucking novices in the Quinjet. These aren't like random people. These are like skilled shield fucking pilots. And they're shooting at this dude on a motorcycle and didn't hit him once. It was such an impossible white man scene. I loved it, but it was so implausible.
that serpentine was so slight. Like he wasn't even serpentine, yo. Like he was listening to side to side. Like it wasn't even no serpentine, yo. Like he should have got fucked up. All the fucking pilot had to do was shoot the fucking gravel in front of him. And you're like, if you ride a motorcycle, you know what a fucking pebble will do. Like I literally have fell off a motorcycle going 5 miles per hour, and just because I turned, the fucking bike slid out from under me. So guns, 50 cal guns that are making a lot of gravel fucking shoot up. You're gonna fucking slip on a pebble, yo. Get the fuck out of here, yo.
And I can't believe you're not saying anything, Mike. You're the main party fucking foul person who comes in and ruins the party, trying to install logic into something that's illogical. And you do that with the fucking Flash, with a guy that has super speed. At least this is like the most realistic character, and you don't find this to be implausible?
I got nothing to say.
Fucking
Oh
Mike.
my God.
Fuck you,
Oh
Mike.
my God,
Oh
Mike.
my god.
Out of all the shit I gotta hear you complain about during the Flash in shows like that,
Because
this
the
was,
Flash is corny, boring at times. It doesn't make any sense and irritates me.
no. But you
This
don't.
movie was
You
phenomenal.
complain about some fantastical shit the Flash does, and I'm like, this is the most fantastical shit of all time.
Nah, the shield, like, and its physics, that doesn't make any sense. But how can I complain about that? It's never going
This
to be.
motorcycle scene, like, you can't do that on a motorcycle, yo. You're not fucking like you're not doing that. And these bullets are fucking coming at you. You're not doing that.
No.
I don't have much of a problem with anything else other than the fact that all of those bullets just miraculously missed them.
Just missed him.
The least favorite thing of any movie ever. Just like never gets shot, and like they just shoot all around him. Like it's just the most bullshit thing in cinema. I hate.
The part of the problem that I had with this movie was during the next fight scene between the Winter Soldier, Captain America, Falcon, and Black Widow, where Cap is fighting the soldiers with the minigun, and he's running real fast towards him, shield covering only his chest. The minigun guy does not hit.
You're breaking up.
Damn, you're breaking up, but I know what you mean.
The minigun guy was shooting at Captain America and missed every bullet, and Cap was just running at him with the shield over his chest open.
Oh yeah, that was kind of
Well,
funny.
Leg-
I would have put so many legs. I would have put so many bullets in his motherfucking shin, his kneecap, his fucking thigh. Like,
The Itanya on that bitch. Just take out the knees.
yeah, that's
Yeah.
a good movie, yo. I tell you, it's a good movie, yo.
So then you find out that Hydra's been, like Mike said, he's been infiltrated in Shield for the past 70 years, and they played this creepy ass but super cool fucking movie in this bunker, like this film of like all the history of shit that Hydra fucked up and all the shit they caused in the world through Shield. And I'm like, God damn, they reminded me of like the first. You remember in Iron Man 3 when it first started, where they were playing like the Mandarin when he cut the TV and he was playing like his little reel.
Yeah.
It reminded me of that because I actually did like that part about Iron Man 3. Those fucking terrorist commercials, and this is kind of similar to that. And then you realize that director Pierce, who's like Sam Jackson's best friend, is evil as fuck, and like he's the one causing all this shit. So then, anybody? All right, let's see. Let me see how keen Mike is, or any of you are. Did you guys, when at one point they were talking about Zola's algorithm, which is what they put in the helicarriers that was fucked up, that was going to cause it to kill all these millions of people that they thought were potential problems. Did any of you guys catch one of the people that they said?
Stephen Strange.
Of course you fucking saw that. So this is our first Doctor Strange thing. And I go, how the fuck does Zola's algorithm know about Stephen Strange? But then you realize that Doctor Strange takes place...
Everybody would pay with that.
No, Doctor Strange takes place over like the course of like all the movies. So like it didn't, like the movie didn't, like Doctor Strange's journey to becoming Doctor Strange didn't happen in like a month. It happened over the course of like years. So I think he was becoming the Sorcerer Supreme, or he's not that yet, but becoming Doctor Strange at some point where, so basically S.H.I.E.L.D. knows about Doctor Strange, which is fucking cool. So I love how they threw that in years before the Doctor Strange movie, which is something Marvel's always been good at. So let's get to the big reveal. Mike, you said you didn't know that the Winter Soldier was Bucky. So when you saw it, the first time you saw this film, what were you thinking?
I was like, well, I was shocked, honestly. I was like, this is awesome. This is like the first time I've been surprised by something in a long time, and I was very absorbed, was very into it. It was crazy. Totally not expecting it, that's for sure. I didn't think we'd see him ever again, and then look, now he's become this huge thing. So it was awesome.
Big Mike.
Well, to be honest, I saw this movie after I sort of watched the first Captain America for the first time, where I fell asleep through 90% of it. So I didn't even remember who Bucky was. So like when he was like, "Oh my God, Bucky," I'm like, "Who the fuck is Bucky? Like, what are you guys talking about?" So I didn't really put two and two together. But now that like I can look back on it, I could be like, oh, or like even as I went further into the movie and they explained things a little bit more, I was like, oh shit. So I was obviously genuinely surprised about it, especially after seeing the rest of the first Captain America and seeing what happened to Bucky and all that kind of shit. So I was surprised by it. I thought it was really cool.
Devin, what about you? Were you surprised?
No, because I knew Bucky would come back at some point in time. Just because I know, like I said, I know the history between Bucky and Cap. When he fell off the damn train, I was like, okay, well, yeah, Bucky. And like they knew something was up, and like I was like, well, who could they bring back that would fuck Cap up like that? It had to be Bucky. So, but yeah, the whole arm, that shit was a blow. I was like, oh, I'm on there because I didn't know that much about Winter Soldier at all. But yeah, I was like, that arm is everything, yo.
Yeah, I knew about the Winter Soldier because I read the comics, but I thought they did a great job with the reveal. And also, how did you guys think Sebastian did acting as playing the Winter Soldier as an actor in this film?
I mean, I thought he did really good. He would pull a total 180 from his first character. He went from being like this, like top.
Mike, what is wrong with your connection? You keep breaking up.
That beeping was not me.
I didn't say that. I said you keep breaking up.
I don't. I should be. I'm sitting right next to my internet connection.
Yeah, I don't know what it is. But yeah, I thought Sebastian did good. So you find out that Fury fake killed himself. Then you get the final big scene in the city and on the helicarrier. So what did you guys think of the final fight scene? And also, which out of the three big scenes, the ship scene, the helicarrier fight scene, and the city fight scene at the end, and the street chase with Fury, which one was your favorite action scene? Big Mike?
I really liked the last scene. I think the first scene, the ship scene, was probably my favorite, just because I thought it was the coolest one. Like it was most original out of like a big like superhero action fight scene. But I did like the last one a lot. Honestly, though, it was probably my third favorite. It was probably Ship, Fury, and then this last fight scene for me. Just because the last one like was that most stereotypical big fight scene for me, where you kind of knew what was going to happen. Like, yeah, they're going to fight, and like something's going to happen, but then Cap's just going to come back in the end and make everything okay. So it was kind of predictable, but I thought the action was decent.
Devin, same questions.
Ask me the question one more time. I had.
What did you think about the final fight scene, and which one was your favorite action scene?
I love the widow part because it just showed her espionage skills, and then like
she was badass.
Yeah, that shit was dope. And then just having Fury have to take him out, have his friend out, and it just reaffirms that you can't trust nobody. Like, I like that one. The Bucky Cap one was cool. I guess because Cap technically won, and then Bucky saved him at the end because I mean the crash fucking happened. But yeah, Cap got fucked up, and I like seeing my heroes get fucked up, and then just the way that ends, like Bucky leaves him on the side of the fucking bank, a river bank or whatever, and this walks off, man, and the mystery continues. Like, will Buck remember me? Like something's in him. Can I get Bucky back? And we have that whole story continuing on. And the Falcon, man, Falcon was really good, man. Just like it just crashes the building. He's like, and he has to jump into the helicopter, man. That shit was
all right, I got another question before we go to Mike. Somebody needs to explain to me how his wings work, because he doesn't have any buttons in his hand. So, like, how is he controlling when it goes up or down or left or right? Is it a neural thing?
I think it's just when he moves when he leans his body.
He's trained, goddammit. He's trained, Brandon. That's what the fuck we have to go with. He's a trained fucking soldier, and he knows how to operate the goddamn wings of the suit.
I guess. All right, Mike, same question.
My favorite action scene was actually Captain America and Black Widow and Falcon. My favorite action scene.
This motherfucker.
What?
Keep breaking up.
I mean, I don't know why. I also like the part where Bucky punches the shield, but it's with his metal arm. It's that big dramatic. I like the last action scene. I don't think it had the same problems.
Yeah, I don't know what's wrong with your connection. Mike.
Yeah.
Every time I say that, then it gets fixed. Like, what the fuck are you doing?
Nothing. I'm just sitting here.
All right.
We don't believe you. You
I
need
hear
more
you guys
people.
fine.
You need more
It's
people.
not an internet thing, because I hear you guys fine.
So then the film ends, and you kind of see Cap give the speech. And I was like, and before the end of the fight, he gives the speech. And I'm like, this is what makes Captain America Captain America. And that's what I loved about this film so much, is that it really cemented like Cap as Cap, like why he is who he is to the Marvel Universe. And it's that way in the comic books, and it's the same way in the film. And I thought this movie did an excellent job of like depicting that character. Then you also kind of see some things like you get a montage. Maria Hill's now working for Stark Industries. Fury goes to Europe, and then you get the after credit scene of the Von Strucker Von Strucker with Loki's staff, and you see Quicksilver and Scarlet Witch. So, thinking back to the first time you guys saw this film, what was your reaction to seeing Quicksilver and Scarlet Witch? Did you know who they were?
I knew who they were because I'm an X-Men fan, and Quicksilver had been in the cartoons and some of the comic books, and I read some of the comic books with him in, and I knew he was Magneto's kids. So it was different to see him on the screen, and at the screen I was like, well, I knew that was Quicksilver, but I didn't know that was Scarlet Witch because I just didn't really know. I just knew she was a telepath. I didn't see the red shit really well in the movie theater, but yeah, I knew it was more to come. I said this was the perfect setup movie for a lot of things, and it really was.
Big Mike, what you think about the after credit scene?
Yeah, I had no idea who those people were. As with most of these things, I'm usually on the outside looking in, just kind of appreciating the movies for what they are, not for like the hidden meaning of like all the comic book stuff, because I just don't know about it. So I had no idea who they were, but it kind of was like a oh shit moment where you had like these super freak like mutants, like just like in a prison cell. You knew something big was about to go down. So I thought it was kind of cool, and it kind of made me excited for the next movie.
Mike.
Of course, I knew who they were. I was confused though.
So smug. God damn. Of course I knew who they were.
I did know who they were.
Why were you confused?
I was confused as to, I didn't know how Fox and Disney were gonna work this out at the time, but obviously, that got resolved by now. Especially because Fox has already used Quicksilver. I don't know. Did they use him at that point yet, or were they about to? I think
they had already used him.
Yeah, they had already used him. They were going to use him again, and so I was like, this is going to be interesting to see. But, yeah, I knew that they were. I was excited. So, and then they changed. I was also curious how they were going to explain the thing.
Hold on, Mike. You're breaking up again. Like, I should have disconnected earlier, but it's too late now.
Oh, was it that bad?
Yes.
It's awful.
We'll fix it after this. All right. So we'll end it now. So we'll do this. We do the same thing we do at the end of every movie. What was your favorite scene? What was your least favorite scene? And what's your score? Big Mike, Devin, Mike, and then me.
Favorite scene, probably like I said before, was definitely the ship scene. I think it kind of hit on all elements that make these Marvel movies so good. Like, it had really cool action, really cool, well choreographed, like hand-to-hand close combat stuff. Had a little bit of humor in there with Cap and ScarJo, when she was like trying to get him to date somebody while they're like mid-fight. I thought that was really funny. So I think, honestly, probably one of my favorite scenes of all the movies that we've watched so far. Least favorite scene. That's tough for this movie because there was really not a whole lot that was bad about it. Least favorite scene would probably be that motorcycle scene where it's just like, come on already, like at least shoot the guy, at least blow the tire out or something.
Yeah, and let him have to jump in the air and then get a injured or something like that. Like, they could have went
at least make it a little bit difficult and not cliche for the guy. So that was probably my least favorite scene. But I mean, like I said, this whole movie was just solid from start to finish. So there was not a whole lot that I could complain about. So I'm gonna go with like a 9.2 on this movie. Definitely one of my favorites, if not my favorite of the movies that we've watched so far. So nothing to complain about for the most part.
Love this movie. Definitely best scene is definitely the Fury, because anytime I get the Fury, I just get excited.
Because that motherfucker would have been my favorite.
And Big Mike, you are so right about that shit. Like, I wish they would let him do that. The thing I did not like about this movie is more cars kill people than bullets kill people in this movie. Just in that one scene. alone. Tons of fucking pedestrians got killed by these cars. And I had a problem with it. I really had a problem with it. Other than that, I really didn't care about I mean, you got to have the fantastical fucking motorcycle scene. That's cool. I wasn't a big fan of the fucking Triskelion shit. Like fucking not Triskelion. Yeah, the fucking Triskelion shit being hit by the whatever the fucking hovering shit was called. And yeah, the carrier. I wasn't a big fan of that. It was cool, but I wasn't a big. That was like I wasn't like, oh, that's great. I'm like, somebody should die. Like, but okay, it worked out. Like they tilted the helicopter to the side. But yeah, I'm gonna give it a 9. It was good. Loved it.
Mike?
Yeah, I'm gonna give it. Well, my first favorite scene was definitely the fight that I mentioned earlier, that action scene on the street. Just because I wasn't expecting the reveal for the first when I first saw it, and it was just great action. It was very entertaining to watch. Least favorite scene is probably just that one part where the minigun guy did not hit it. And I think I give this movie a 9.5.
Yeah, my favorite scene was definitely the Fury scene by far. Fury's a badass. They had to show it. They showed it perfectly. Also, low-key loved Black Widow. All her scenes in this film, her action scenes were amazing.
Amazing.
My least favorite scene was Cap running on that motorcycle. It was so phony. It was just such a ridiculous film. Actually, I love that scene because of how ridiculous it was. My least favorite scene was... I don't even know.
Yo,
I thought that film was
scene?
ridiculous, but I kind of enjoyed how it being ridiculous. And I give this movie a 9.
What about the scene when they when Cap's over the fucking loudspeaker and they're fucking at a fucking standoff, a Mexican standoff, with the nurse next door, but she's really an Asian.
I love that part.
That shit pissed me off because I was just like, yo, if I'm the guy on the computer, I'm fucking rolling back from the computer, yo. You got it, boss. I'm not about this life. You're not about to shoot me. Like, also, I love the fucking part when Fury got shot and just showed up in Cap's crib in the dark. Shit was amazing. Just everything that you want in a spy movie. So, yeah. But, yeah, overall, cars killed too many people in this film. And if somebody's telling you to move out of the way in the computer, I'm getting out my station. You got it, boss. You got it.
One last thing that I kind of didn't really like.
Yeah,
when Scarlett Johansson like reveals that she was that old woman like on the council or whatever, and like they like shock her. Like, why did everyone else die instantly? But she was just like, this hurts a little bit, but I'm fine. Don't worry about it.
No, they didn't shock her. She shocked herself.
She shocked herself.
Oh, she shocked herself.
Yeah, she used one of those little circle things that she did earlier.
All right, that makes more sense.
Yeah.
Because I'm just
I'm glad we cleared that up for you.
That's why does everyone die instantly just because she's Scarlett Johansson? That she just miraculously lives? That was another thing that I would have been pissed at. But all right, I'm cool with that.
All right. Thank you guys for listening to the Why So Serious podcast. We will be back next week. Next week we're doing Guardians of the Galaxy, the first one. So we will continue on us on this road to Infinity War. Make sure you subscribe to us on iTunes, Stitcher, Google Play, anywhere you find your podcast. Leave us a 5-star review. Thank you guys for listening. Talk to you later.